Imagine giving your loyalty, your time, your emotions, and your trust to someone, only to discover that every sacrifice you made became a tool used against you. Most people do not lose power in one dramatic moment. They lose it slowly, through small compromises they never thought would matter. A disrespectful comment that is ignored. A broken promise that is forgiven too quickly. A lie explained away. A boundary crossed without consequence. What begins as a minor discomfort often grows into a prison built from tolerance. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that many people refuse to accept. He believed that people reveal their character through actions, not words. Promises are easy. Apologies are easy. Grand speeches about love, loyalty, and commitment are easy. The difficult part is consistent behavior. When someone repeatedly shows you who they are, ignoring that evidence becomes a dangerous mistake. Many women are taught to be patient, understanding, and forgiving. These qualities can be beautiful, but in the wrong situation, they become weaknesses that manipulative people exploit. A person who benefits from your silence will always encourage your patience. A person who profits from your forgiveness will always ask for another chance. This is why power is rarely stolen by force. More often, it is surrendered voluntarily. The behaviors we will discuss are not small flaws or ordinary mistakes that every human makes. They are warning signs. They reveal attitudes that, if left unchecked, can destroy respect, confidence, and emotional security. Machiavelli would argue that the greatest danger is not the behavior itself. The greatest danger is accepting it repeatedly. Every time a harmful action goes unchallenged, a message is sent. The message is simple. This is allowed. Human beings naturally test limits. When there are no consequences, limits disappear. That is why wise people pay attention, not only to how someone treats them on their best day, but also to how they behave when they are angry, frustrated, jealous, or powerful. Character is exposed during those moments. If you want stronger relationships, stronger boundaries, and greater control over your own life, then pay close attention. These 13 behaviors reveal far more than temporary emotions. They reveal patterns of thinking. And once you recognize these patterns, you will understand why Machiavelli would warn against accepting them, no matter how charming, attractive, or persuasive the person may seem. Let us begin with the first, and perhaps one of the most dangerous behaviors of all. The first behavior is consistent disrespect, disguised as humor. Many manipulative men understand that direct insults create resistance. Instead, they hide disrespect behind jokes, sarcasm, and playful comments. When confronted, they immediately retreat behind a familiar defense. I was only joking. This tactic is powerful because it places the burden on the woman. If she objects, she risks being labeled sensitive, dramatic, or unable to take a joke. Machiavelli understood that language is often used as a weapon long before open conflict begins. A person who repeatedly humiliates you in public, mocks your opinions, or makes you the target of constant jokes is not entertaining the room. He is testing your tolerance for disrespect. Every unchallenged insult becomes permission for the next one. Respect is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Once that foundation begins to crack, everything built on top of it becomes unstable. Pay attention to patterns, not excuses. One careless joke may be a mistake. Constant humiliation is a strategy. Someone who truly values you will protect your dignity, not use it for amusement. The second behavior is chronic dishonesty. Machiavelli knew that information is power. When someone lies repeatedly, they are not simply hiding facts. They are controlling reality itself. A dishonest person decides what you are allowed to know and what you are not allowed to know. This creates an imbalance of power. Small lies are especially dangerous because they train you to accept uncertainty. Eventually, you stop questioning contradictions. You begin doubting your instincts instead of doubting the liar. Trust does not collapse because of one major deception. It collapses through countless small betrayals that slowly erode confidence. A man who lies about little things today may lie about important things tomorrow. The specific topic matters less than the pattern. When honesty disappears, genuine partnership becomes impossible because decisions can only be made wisely when both people are working with the same truth. Machiavelli would advise watching actions carefully. A person's relationship with truth reveals their relationship with responsibility. Someone who cannot be trusted with facts cannot be trusted with power over your emotional well-being. The third behavior is emotional manipulation through guilt. This is one of the most effective forms of control because it does not rely on force. It relies on your conscience. A manipulative man knows that if he can make you feel guilty for having needs, standards, or boundaries, he can influence your decisions without appearing controlling. Every time you express disappointment, he becomes the victim. Every time you ask for accountability, he reminds you of his struggles. Every time you establish a boundary, he accuses you of being selfish. Machiavelli understood that the most powerful rulers often convince others to act against their own interests willingly. Emotional manipulators operate in the same way. Instead of respecting your limits, they make you feel responsible for their emotions. Over time, you begin sacrificing your comfort to avoid their reactions. You stop speaking honestly because honesty creates conflict. You stop defending yourself because defense creates guilt. This is exactly how power shifts. A healthy relationship allows both people to express concerns without punishment. If someone consistently makes you feel guilty for protecting your own well-being, they are not seeking understanding. They are seeking control. The fourth behavior is constant inconsistency. One day he is affectionate, attentive, and supportive. The next day he is distant, cold, and uninterested. Then suddenly he returns with warmth and affection again. This unpredictable cycle creates emotional confusion. Human beings naturally seek stability. When stability disappears, people begin chasing it. The inconsistency becomes addictive because every positive moment feels like a reward after a period of emotional deprivation. Machiavelli recognized that uncertainty often increases dependence. When people do not know what to expect, they become focused on winning approval and avoiding rejection. In relationships, this dynamic can become extremely unhealthy. Instead of evaluating whether the relationship is good for you, you become occupied with earning the next moment of affection. The relationship stops being a partnership and becomes a pursuit. Consistency is not boring. Consistency is evidence of emotional maturity. Someone who genuinely values you should not make you feel like you are constantly guessing where you stand. The fifth behavior is refusing accountability. Every person makes mistakes. The issue is not imperfection. The issue is what happens after the mistake. Some men never take responsibility for their actions. Every problem becomes someone else's fault. Every argument is caused by your reaction rather than their behavior. Every failure is blamed on circumstances, bad luck, co-workers, family members, or past experiences. Machiavelli knew that leaders who avoid accountability eventually become dangerous because they never learn from consequences. The same principle applies in personal relationships. If a man cannot admit when he is wrong, growth becomes impossible. Relationships survive conflict through honesty and correction. Without accountability, the same problems repeat endlessly. Listen carefully to how someone discusses their past. Do they acknowledge their mistakes, or is every story filled with villains and excuses? A person who never accepts responsibility for yesterday will rarely accept responsibility for today. The sixth behavior is controlling behavior disguised as protection. At first, it may sound caring. He wants to know where you are all the time because he worries about your safety. He questions your friends because he is concerned about their influence. He dislikes certain activities because he claims they are not good for you. While genuine concern exists in healthy relationships, control often wears the mask of protection. Machiavelli understood that power is most effective when it appears beneficial. People resist obvious domination, but they often accept restrictions presented as acts of care. This is why controlling behavior can be difficult to identify in the beginning. The issue is not whether someone cares about you. The issue is whether they respect your independence. A healthy partner offers advice and support while recognizing your ability to make decisions. A controlling partner gradually replaces your judgment with his own. Freedom disappears one small compromise at a time. When someone constantly seeks authority over your choices, pay attention. The desire to control rarely becomes smaller with time. It usually grows stronger. The seventh behavior is public charm and private cruelty. Some men are admired by everyone around them. Friends praise them. Colleagues respect them. Strangers enjoy their company. Yet behind closed doors, a completely different personality emerges. They become critical, dismissive, aggressive, or emotionally cold. This contrast creates confusion because nobody else sees what you experience. Machiavelli understood the value of reputation. He knew that appearances often influence judgment more than reality. A manipulative person may invest heavily in maintaining a positive public image because it provides protection. If problems arise, others naturally assume the charming public figure is innocent. This leaves the victim isolated and doubting herself. Never evaluate a person's character solely by how they treat an audience. Character is revealed most clearly when there is no audience to impress. The man who is kind only when others are watching is not displaying character. He is displaying strategy. True integrity remains consistent whether the room is full or empty. The eighth behavior is jealousy that becomes possessiveness. A small amount of jealousy can be a normal human emotion, but possessiveness is something entirely different. Possessive men often treat relationships like ownership rather than partnership. They become threatened by your success, uncomfortable with your independence, and suspicious of harmless interactions. At first, this behavior may be mistaken for passion. Some even interpret it as proof of love. Machiavelli would disagree. He understood that people who seek excessive control are often motivated by insecurity and fear. Possessiveness is not a sign of deep affection. It is a sign that someone values control more than trust. Healthy relationships are built on confidence. Possessive relationships are built on surveillance. When someone constantly questions your choices, monitors your activities, or attempts to isolate you from others, they are not strengthening the relationship. They are weakening your freedom. The ninth behavior is disrespecting your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls designed to push people away. They are guidelines that protect dignity, comfort, and mutual respect. A man who repeatedly ignores your boundaries sends a clear message. He believes his desires are more important than your limits. Sometimes the violations are obvious. Other times they are subtle. You ask for space, and he refuses to give it. You express discomfort, and he pressures you anyway. You clearly communicate a limit, and he treats it like a negotiation. Machiavelli understood that every boundary is ultimately a test of respect. A person who values you will not need constant reminders to honor your limits. Someone who repeatedly crosses boundaries is revealing how little importance they place on your autonomy. Never ignore this pattern. The issue is rarely the specific boundary. The issue is the attitude behind the violation. The 10th behavior is using affection as a reward and withdrawal as punishment. This tactic is designed to create emotional dependence. When you behave in ways he likes, he becomes warm, loving, and attentive. When you disagree, challenge him, or express dissatisfaction, he becomes cold and distant. Affection is transformed into a tool of control, rather than an expression of genuine connection. Machiavelli understood that rewards and punishments influence behavior more effectively than direct commands. Manipulative individuals apply the same principle in relationships. They train others to associate obedience with approval and independence with rejection. Over time, many people begin abandoning their own opinions simply to maintain emotional peace. This is not love. Love does not require the surrender of identity. Any relationship that depends on fear of emotional punishment is built on an unstable foundation. The 11th behavior is constant criticism. Constructive feedback helps people grow. Constant criticism does the opposite. Some men seem incapable of appreciating anything without immediately identifying a flaw. Your appearance is criticized. Your decisions are criticized. Your goals are criticized. Even your achievements are met with negative comments. Machiavelli recognized that confidence is a form of power. People with strong self-respect are difficult to control because they trust their own judgment. Constant criticism slowly attacks that confidence. The goal may not always be intentional, but the effect is the same. When someone repeatedly highlights your weaknesses while ignoring your strengths, your sense of self begins to shrink. A healthy partner encourages growth without destroying confidence. They help you improve while still respecting your worth. The 12th behavior is selfishness during difficult times. Anyone can appear loving when life is easy. Character is revealed when challenges arrive. Illness, stress, financial hardship, family problems, and personal setbacks expose priorities. Some men disappear emotionally the moment circumstances become inconvenient. They expect support but rarely provide it. They want loyalty but struggle to offer loyalty in return. Machiavelli believed that adversity reveals truths that comfort conceals. During difficult moments, masks often fall away. Pay attention to who stands beside you when there is nothing to gain. Genuine care becomes visible through actions during hardship. A man who consistently prioritizes himself when you need support is showing you where you truly rank in his life. The 13th and final behavior is repeated betrayal, followed by empty promises. This may be the most dangerous behavior, because it traps people in endless cycles of hope. After every betrayal comes an apology. After every apology comes a promise. After every promise comes temporary improvement. Then the behavior returns. Machiavelli understood that wise people judge patterns, not speeches. Words can inspire optimism, but actions reveal reality. Many individuals remain stuck in unhealthy relationships because they continue believing future promises while ignoring past evidence. Trust should be rebuilt through consistent behavior, not emotional declarations. Someone who repeatedly betrays trust and repeatedly asks for another chance is teaching you an important lesson. The lesson is not about their potential. It is about their pattern. Machiavelli's central message was simple. Power belongs to those who understand reality clearly. In relationships, reality is found in behavior, not in promises, not in excuses, not in intentions. Behavior reveals priorities, values, and character. The moment you begin accepting what should never be accepted, you slowly surrender influence over your own life. Respect, honesty, accountability, and trust are not luxuries. They are necessities. The strongest relationships are not built on fear, control, or manipulation. They are built on mutual respect and consistent actions. If someone repeatedly demonstrates these 13 behaviors, believe the evidence in front of you. The ability to walk away from disrespect is often more powerful than the ability to endure it. And according to Machiavelli's understanding of human nature, protecting your dignity is not weakness. It is one of the highest forms of wisdom. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next lesson on power, human nature, and strategy. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and tell us in the comments, which of these behaviors do you think is the most dangerous? Your thoughts may help others see what they have been missing.